folks, right, I'm back and I've been asked to do a hill descent control video, so I'm climbing early and look at that, what are we in there, Cam? 13, 15 degrees there. Oh, my drone's flying out the cam. So I'm going to come round here and I'm going to come up to the top of this hill. A friend of mine here, you'll see him in a bit, he's got a big MAN, but what I'm going to do is I'm coming around here. I've got some drone footage, we've done this once or twice already, you'll see by the tracks, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to record now another piece so you can see what it's like coming through here. Cam's already, my lad Cam, who's top cameraman today, he's recorded some video footage with the iPad here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another video here, which is this. I'm going to watch the windscreen first for the Muppet. So you can see we've got tracks down in bottom there, can't you? Now we've got, I don't know, what's this, Cam, about 50 feet maybe, something like that, or 70 feet any road. So I'm going to drop down here now in the bottom, but what I've done is I've engaged the hill descent control, and somebody said, well, how do you do it in slippy terrain and on ice? Well, this is pretty much the same as ice, because the top's it's very gravelly, it's all coal dust and slack really, and so it's very, very slippy, and it's greasy because we've just had a thaw here, so it's almost like ice really. There's no traction pretty much at all. So what I'm doing is I've engaged hill descent control, I've set it to the lowest possible speed. We're in mud and ruts, not that we need to be, but we're in mud and ruts because we had a bit of snow drama earlier on. We'll see the video of that as well. Anyway, so we're just about to break over now, we're at -1 degree, and then we're going to straighten the wheels up. I'm going to take my foot entirely off the brake pedal now, and ooh, my iPad's flying off the dash, and it's going down 27, 28 degrees here now, 28.
I saw.
You saw 31, oh Cam, big hill. And I didn't use my brake or the throttle or anything there, but it's very important if you do pick up, it's important to have your foot just kind of hovering a little bit over the throttle, because if it starts to slide, the technology should be doing all its stuff, and it is. I mean, you can see how steep it is. I'll just circle round here and you can see what we actually came down. Cam says, we're not going down that, are we, when we came around here, but we're all right, aren't we, Cam? Maximum Land Rover capability. This is why you buy a Land Rover, you don't buy a Land Cruiser. You can see how steep it is there, it's almost like a brick wall. 30, what did you say, Cam? 31 degrees. What I was going to say, you need to hover slightly over. The tech does all its thing because the anti-lock brakes work in conjunction with all of the terrain sensing and the slip sensing, the yaw and pitch and all that kind of nonsense. And they work to identify which wheel's spinning, and when it spins, they release the brake and they work independently very fast. And Cam's got a little video earlier on of the yellow lines that appear on the control panel as you're slipping, and then you can see the brakes coming on and coming off. And ooh, me drone's flying out the window again. And so, and I should also mention, well, we'll go back to the same thing. So the reason to hover over the throttle is because if it does pick up and the tech doesn't get you there, what you need to do is just add a little bit of power to meet the wheels, to make the wheels meet the speed of the vehicle. It's a bit complicated, that, and I wouldn't advise you do it unless you know what you're doing, but you get the idea is that your vehicle is pushing the wheels and the wheels can only operate at a certain speed. So if you accelerate a little bit, your wheels pick up to match the speed of the car and the skid stops. It's the same sort of technique we use elsewhere, but it's pretty spectacular countryside out here. This, of course, is filmed in Lethbridge, and I'm doing my best voiceover bit here, of course, because we took a lot of footage on the drone, but and not so much in the cab, thinking we'd show you nice, flashy views of Lethbridge, but then we forgot the SIM card, and I flew it into the side of the Land Rover. Anyway, that's another story. So you won't get to see me pulling that out of a snowdrift. This is my mate's MAN. Fancy thing, 10 ton, but anyway, Land Rover dragged it out of a big snowdrift once it got stuck in there. But you'll see here, this is taken at Galt number 8 mine, which is a grand coal mine. Lots of stories here underground. There's 12 kilometres of tunnels that they dug way back in the sort of late 1800s. But we'd come here, of course, because it's apart from the green grand scenery and all this other kind of stuff, it's got a couple of humps and bumps from the old spoil heaps, and you'd see us going, the stuff that we're travelling up and down is basically the waste coal that they'd been sort of scattering about. They weren't very careful what they did with it back in the day, and they just sort of tossed it all over the spot. Anyway, we come out here because my mate Ross looks after this spot, and there's the opportunity to go up and down these banks. Well, you saw the bank that we'd climbed down. And Cam sort of thought that we wouldn't be able to get up it, so we had a bit of a do going up it. And it gave us the opportunity. You can see it's 30 something degrees here, let's say 30 degrees. And it's quite a steep bank, but as you can see, it's all sort of waste coal and all manner of stuff, and you can see it's right slick. Well, we did have a go at getting up, and there's two things that I want to mention to you. And the first one is what happens when you fail get up it like this. Well, the answer is you put your foot on the foot brake, you stop movement, you engage reverse gear, you take your foot off everything, and you let the technology take you back. And that's exactly what it does, because hill descent control, of course, works in reverse as well as it does forward. So I didn't have any of my feet on any of the stuff on the pedals here, it was just doing itself. But the reason it failed, of course, was because I hadn't switched the DSC off. Now, DSC stands for Dynamic Stability Control, and basically what it is it's the Land Rover's ability to sense when the wheels are spinning, and spinning wheels are bad. I keep trying to tell folks this, but they don't listen. Spinning wheels are bad almost all the time, because basically you just dig big holes and then it's harder to get out of it. But what the DSC is designed to do is reduce that spin, so it's sensitive to wheel spin, and it sort of cuts the power to the engine for you to try and reduce that sort of wheel spin. Well, when you're climbing a big bank like that, there's all sort of slippy and not very good. Of course, DSC is not helping, is it? Because you're trying to get going, you're trying to get some momentum, but of course it senses there's wheel slip and it cuts the power, and so you fail the hill climb. And so if you can switch that off, if you're trying to engage a steeper bank, you need to switch the DSC off so that you can then have a proper go at a good run up, if you see what I mean. And that's the second attempt that you saw there in the video. We're able to get up without much of a difficulty at all. And it was just you always leave the DSC on as long as you can until you need the ability to reduce the sensitivity to slip. You need a bit of momentum, and you need that slip, because the Land Rover needs to have the ability to sense that slip, especially when you're going down slippy banks. You need that sensitivity to be there. Now, technically speaking, DSC is always on to some degree, and you just reduce it. And it should work even if you're going down a slippy bank. The hill descent control and the automatic, the all-terrain progress control will work even when you have the DSC off a little bit, because it'll be sensitive to that sort of wheel slip and it knows what's going on. Now, the DSC is reduced in certain modes, which is one of the reasons I moved to mud ruts or sand in snow use, because the DSC is inhibited a bit in those routes. It's less sensitive, and so you can have a little bit of wheel spin, but certainly in sand you want a little bit of wheel spin, or else you sort of suck all the power out of it, and it's very power sapping, as are these drifts that we're sort of driving through now. So there is a time when you need to switch that DSC off, and we're going to go back now to that clip where we eventually made a successful climb of that bank. We switched the DSC off, and all we did was hit it at the same speed and had another go basically, and you can see the difference that it makes. Any road, well, I'm just going to drive round here now, and you'll see my mate Ross here. Look, we've got a bit of a bank to climb, look, and you'll see my mate Ross. I'm hoping he can climb up here. Can I climb up here? And we'll have a go, shall we? We've two chances, haven't we? Oh, that's the drone on the floor. Tragedy. So yes, it does go up there. What do you think of that? Anyway, there you are. We're up, and Ross is going to. There he is. Look, you're being recorded, Ross. Say hello to the people. So right, there you go. That's how to use the hill descent control. We'll have a tootle about. We'll take some more video footage. Tried to use the drone, didn't we? But we had a bit of wind-related drama. Yeah, it's Lethbridge, so wind-related drama. Right, so here's another clip of a hill climb, a short hill climb. Now, we managed to get up this the first time round, but as you can see here, the second time we didn't have quite as much success. And the reason for that is it sort of bellied out, grounded out there in the middle, as you can see. And the drama that's going on is that the front wheels got into an hole, and I didn't just have enough momentum to carry me forwards. But the same story goes. You stop the drive and you put it in reverse, and then you take your foot off everything, and that's the weight of the Land Rover just dragging it back down the hill. Now, this second attempt, of course, a bit better line and a bit more power, and up he went. Now when we got on the top, of course, we had to get down, and this is a short clip of the big man going down. Now this has got a lot longer wheelbase here than you can just see our cam there. It's got a lot longer wheelbase than the Defender, but of course it's got more ground clearance too, and there's quite a bit of a breakover angle here. But you'll notice that the side bits here don't sort of ground out at all. There's no rubbing or whatever, it just goes straight down. Now when you get to the bottom, you'll notice that the shape of the undercarriage there is what they call the approach angle, and even though the approach angle isn't approaching, it's sort of descending as it were. That shape is what's making it able to do that without much difficulty. To prove, of course, that we can't be outdone by something with 26 inches of ground clearance, here's me coming down the same bank. Same deal with the Defender, is a lower or a steeper part approach angle, and that provides you with the ability to climb and descend without grounding either the front or the back out, and such terrain is relatively easy to manipulate. Now the terrain, of course, is one thing, but having somebody on the inside to come out and hang out with you and have a good day is always nice. To have a couple of people there just in case one of you gets stuck. And funnily enough, that was exactly what happened with his MAN. We got it sort of just as soon as we arrived. We just went round in a big snowdrift, which was sort of maybe 2 feet deep or something, and the Mitchies sort of got they slicked up really. They're not new, are they? And they're big fat things and very heavy and very hard, so they're not best in snow. Any road we've got it wedged in a bank and had to yank it out. I did take some outstandingly fantastic, look at me, listen. I took some good footage of that being pulled out, were the drone to have actually recorded the said footage, but of course it didn't. Any road, my thanks to great thanks to Ross for letting us have a tootle about there and looking after us and just being the tow recovery vehicle just in case. And I was intending to take a few more photographs and video of the big man, but what we're going to do next weekend, I think, is we're going to turn up. We're going to have a do with the Defenders too. He's got a Defender over here with a V8 in it, so we're going to have a tootle about it now. I might have a tootle about him. I don't know. The best part about driving and doing some off-roading stuff is when you can drive home like this and you haven't done any damage and there's nothing falling off and there's no great catastrophes and there's no big hole in the side of your car or whatever. And so this is, I've always said when you have a bit of a play about it, it's important to remember what you use your vehicle for, and I use the vehicle for daily stuff, so I can't afford to lose it. It is what it is. So anyway, that's that. There's a bit of a brief sort of introduction of the hill descent control. I did take a bunch of drone footage for today, but we didn't realise until we were very nearly at the end of the day that we had neglected, we being me, had neglected to put the SIM card in. So we have stored none of the nice drone footage that we took on this fantastic day at the mine. So we might fiddle about next weekend doing the same thing, and we'll take some drone footage there and I'll slip it all in together or something. Anyway, thank you very much for paying a little bit of attention to the video and signing in. Please do like the video if you like it. It means a great deal to me. This is not sponsored. I'm nowhere near big enough to earn any money from YouTube, so this is it's purely for my own self-edification, I suppose, and sort of support for you guys, answering questions and doing a bit of something here, there and everywhere. So I don't get any money from it, it's nothing like that, but it means a lot to me if you do like and subscribe to the video, and that way I know that you're liking the content and that if you're interested in the material that I do, obviously you get the update. So thank you very much for taking the 5 or 2 minutes to do whatever it is that you need to do. I don't actually know, I was pointing, wasn't I, up to the things, it's up in here somewhere, but that's not the case. Apparently it's on a little thing that I tag at the end. So anyway, thanks very much for tuning in. See you with the next video. Cheerio!